guys, today I'm doing my first ever book unhaul. This is also the first video that I'm filming in front of my lovely shelves that Josh and I had to build after my other shelves collapsed under the weight of disappointment, apparently. So I'll leave that video linked somewhere if you want to see all those fun good times. I love them, by the way. I don't know if you guys like them very much. I still have my tapestry hanging up, my lovely cactuses and plant tapestry, and I'll probably just switch off between filming angles, but enough about all of the filming logistics. You guys came to see what books I don't want anymore. And I have a fairly short stack of books. This is my first unhaul, and to be honest, I don't have that many books to begin with. When I was building these shelves, there were some books that I didn't want to put back on the shelf, which then tells me I don't want those books anymore. So they're going away. I'm probably just gonna bring them to Goodwill because I don't think anyone wants these books, including me. Let's get started. The first book I have is one that I got in a subscription box. So I have Unforgiven by Laura and Kate. This is part of the Fallen series, but apparently you don't have to read the Fallen series to read this book, even though it's from the perspective of one of the characters in the Fallen series. I've also heard that this series doesn't have the best reviews. I've heard a lot of mixed things. I don't have any want or desire to read the Fallen series, and I just am very skeptical about being able to read this book without having any knowledge of that series. So away it goes. Next I have The Ascenders by Cw Ortner. This is a young adult paranormal book about like a high school in the afterlife or something. Definitely not my taste, so it's going away. Next up I have The Queen's Vow by Cw Ortner. I got this at the dollar store, and by that I mean Dollar Tree, where everything is actually $1. Josh convinced me to buy it. It's a historical fiction book. He thought that it sounded interesting, but it's just sitting on my shelf and I don't think I'm gonna read it. So I also have Black by Pat Dekker. I've had this book for years, and it actually has the graphic novel of the book in the back. I got this book when I was in high school at a Christian bookstore, and I just have no interest in reading it. I want to give it away. Josh wants to finish reading it, so I'm probably just unhauling it to his shelf, but I don't want it. Okay, now I have a book. This is the first book that I was ever sent for review, and I only had to review it on like Amazon and stuff like that, but I wanted to do a video review of it too, and I never did it because I hated this book. Is there a stronger word for that? I loathed it. I don't want it ever in my life. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things by Martina McGatty. This book is terrible, and I didn't want to do a video review because I didn't really feel like dragging the author for 3 to 5 minutes. There are paragraphs in this book that are duplicated back to back, word for word. And I know what you're thinking, oh, it's probably an arc, they haven't finished editing it, this is why they give you books for review. Nope, it was already released when I was sent it. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it for Kindle, you can get this book as is with duplicate paragraphs as if once wasn't enough. Trust me, it's enough. There's also a strange bestiality scene. I don't know. The romance was just wrong. It was just weird. The concept of the book is interesting. It's about this girl whose dad dies, but he dies like in a mysterious way, and then these two people come and kidnap her and take her to Florida, and they all have like powers, and there's werewolves, and it's a young adult like paranormal supernatural book, and she has powers too, but she doesn't know it. The concept is really interesting. The execution, not so much. Probably the only thing I like about this book is the cover. The covers of these books are gorgeous, but the spine is trash. The binding is falling apart. The last like 75 pages of this book fell out in a chunk when I got it. It's just cheap. I don't like it, and I need to have it out of my life. Okay, next I have one that people are probably gonna be like, what the actual heck is going on? Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. This is the last book in the Hunger Games trilogy, and as you can see, it's missing its dust cover, which is one of the reasons I'm getting rid of it. I pre-ordered Mockingjay, got it like a week before it was actually released, and it took me a year to read it. I really did not like this book, but I own The Hunger Games in paperback. So I have The Hunger Games in paperback, Mockingjay in hardcover, and I don't own Catching Fire. Until Josh ended up getting me Catching Fire and Mockingjay in paperback. So I'm keeping the paperback, giving away, donating, whatever, getting rid of the hardcover. That's just how it's gonna go. Next up is Endgame: The Calling by James Frey and Niles Johnson Shelton. I got this book a year or so ago-ish, somewhere in there, and basically this is like some weird book. You, as the reader, can play the game that's happening in the book, and if you win, there was like a $500,000 prize. I got this way after the fact, so never in my mind was I ever getting this to play for money, because that's weird. And I started reading it, and it was boring and cryptic and just didn't make any sense, so I stopped reading it, but the name kept bothering me. James Frey, that sounds very familiar to me. And then it hit me. That's the guy that wrote that book, A Million Little Pieces, or whatever the heck it was, and he was on Oprah in Oprah's book club, and then it came out that he lied about writing the book, which immediately turned me off of reading this book. So here it is. I don't want it. Goodbye. And the last thing I'm going to be unhauling is a trilogy. That's right, an entire trilogy. Anyone want to play the guessing game at what trilogy I'm getting rid of? It's Divergent, the whole thing. Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant. As you can tell, Insurgent and Allegiant don't have their dust jacket, and I hate that. I hate how they look on my shelf. They look ugly. Unlike the Hunger Games, where I didn't like Mockingjay, but it didn't necessarily taint how I felt about the rest of the trilogy. Allegiant ruined everything. Allegiant ruined everything. I don't like it. I changed how I view the trilogy, which is sad, because Divergent is the first book that Josh and I ever read together, and when I say together, I mean we would read each other chapters out loud of the book, and I have some really sweet memories of that, so it's sad, but I don't want to look at these pieces of poop on my shelf anymore. I don't. I'm done. And those are pretty much all of the books that I am going to be unhauling. Like I said, I'm probably just going to end up donating them to Goodwill, because I don't think anywhere is gonna take books without their dust jacket. I just don't think that they will. I don't think any of you guys really want any of the books that I'm unhauling either. I would honestly be shocked if anyone out there actually wanted any of these books that I'm getting rid of. I'm not even kidding you. So let me know down below in the comments if you liked any of these books, if you've read any of the books besides the Divergent trilogy and Mockingjay, because let's be real, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below to see more bookish videos. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.